Hello guys, this is a video in response of the latest anonymous video hashtag up white rose. I invite you to have a look at it if you don't have a clue what I'm talking about. But this is just a video in response of that because I was really moved by some content of this video. They were calling people saying that we have to work together in order to protect our rights, to fight against the oppression that is coming against immigrants against this free movement of people towards a better opportunity world and so on, which is a normal order of progression. I am moved by it. I definitely moved by the idea or the concept of getting together, and they are also mentioned in this link that Operation White Rose has with Anonymous, and they were saying Anonymous is a legion, let's bring down the people and so on, who are putting in danger our society, in this case Donald Trump. But you know what, haters like Donald Trump, they are happening everywhere. I am right now in Germany, and you see how people are getting, these hater groups are winning the hearts of many Germans who will not speak about their true colors openly, but the elections that we just went through last weekend, they show otherwise. They show that they are supporting extremists, and what they want is to close the borders completely. And of course they want also some mass deportations and so on and so forth. And well, this endangers the situation of people such as myself that are here in a condition of legal immigrants. Now, what I don't agree with this video of Anonymous is the fact that Anonymous pretends to defeat the system anonymously, or hiding behind these masks, and that's what I really think it's outrageous. Why? Because if you want to defeat the system, you don't do it like hiding like rats. Okay, yeah, I do agree that there is a lot of power in hacking, in and like making some publicity and stuff. But guys, I mean, you can do it in the open. And the way of defeating really the system is by using the weapons of the system, is by making an organized political party which will have one bigger aim, which is a reform of the current system. I was making a research because I just opened a group lately in Germany to protect the immigrants' rights, and you can have a look at my website, www.thenationsleague.org, and I do have some more information over there and what we are standing for, and all of those valuable points. But the truth is, we need to defeat the system, not creating a chaos as such, but moving in a progressive way with giving everyone what everyone wants. Why there are so many haters, and why there are so many other supporters of things, and the point is that we are not going to really convert a black to a white, or a white to a black, green to red, and so on and so forth. I am talking about political parties. We cannot force people to believe in something that they are not coming with by themselves. You can educate, you can make some propaganda, you can put some information, you cannot force anyone. Otherwise, when you are forcing people to believe in what you want them to believe, you are nothing but an anarchist, you are nothing but a terrorist, you are nothing but, and from all of those things we already had enough. So what I'm proposing to do is, Anonymous, help me to become a president. Doesn't matter the country, we can do this, and this is the plan. Right. We have to knock down all the system that exists right now. and we have to give people what they want. So we have to allow people to choose by themselves what do they want and what do they don't. And there is a solution, for, believe me or not. We can, first of all, we have to break the countries as they exist, dissolve them. Right? Let me explain you the idea behind this. Right? When you have, for example, a private company, you work and you do your stuff and whatever, and there is one point when the things are not going very well, or you want to just close the company for various different reasons. So you declare your company in bankrupt because your company is making more losses than profits. When this happens, all the assets of the company are sold or valued in monetary value, and this money or the goods by themselves are used to pay the owners, the people who the company owes money, until the extent that there is no more responsibility or there are no more things to sell or to pay with, and then the company is just declared in bankruptcy, it's liquidated, and that's it. So the natural person, the ones who create this company, walks away, and the company just finished, of course, and that's it. Now, the same principle applies for countries. If you think of what a country is nothing other than a group of people who decided to call themselves Germans, Italians, Spaniards, Americans, Canadians, whatever you want to. It's just an extension of land, and these people agrees in a pacific way, because nobody really signed a contract saying, yes, I want to be a Peruvian, or I want to be a Colombian, or I want to be an American. Saying that I accept all the laws and legislations, and I am going to just stick to everything that they say. But that's exactly how you break a country or dissolve a country, because these contracts, if there are any, yeah, of course, when I became a British citizen, I had to sign a document of my citizenship, but there is no such a thing as a contract saying that one has to obey the legislation. There is no contract. It doesn't say exactly at what extent you are giving your rights to the government. You are not signing a contract saying that you agree for the government to take advantage of you, taking over 20% of your salary as taxes. You're not agreeing about that. You're not agreeing for the government to take from every dollar, pound, or euro that you spend afterwards, after the 20% have been deducted already from your salary. You're not agreeing to the government to take even 20% more of what you're using for buying any goods or paying any services. So actually, when you really think about this, the legality of the system is questionable, because the government is taking our money systematically without our permission. That is stealing. And the government says that the government is protecting the rights of the consumers, the rights of the citizens. Nonetheless, the government is robbing us. Under this argument, fundamentally, you can claim all your taxes back to the government. Why would you do that? Because the government won't be able to pay all the taxes that they have been taken from every single citizen since the countries were formed. The government will have to declare itself in bankruptcy. Once the government are in bankruptcy, the assets of the country, the land, the companies, everything that exists from a country, it's gonna have to be valued, monetized or not, and give it back to the citizens who are the ones that the government is owing money. In this way, the resources of the country are going to go back to the citizens. In this way, at this point, when there is a bankruptcy of the country, we can declare the country unexistent and decide how do we want to call ourselves. A new name is basically a new beginning of a new set of legislations and everything. At this very point, you allow the people who don't want to share their country, who they want to live by themselves with no immigrants and no, I don't know, no people of different colors, they can get together in specific areas of the country or cities, and they can be haters over there. What I would like to see is these haters not getting any benefits from anyone else in the country. There is no right for them to impose themselves to anyone else. And if they hate so much immigrants and stuff, I would like to see them producing their own cars to begin with, their own clothes, their own technology, and their own food. Because, you know, the clothes, the cheapest ones are coming from China, from India, from Taiwan. The technology is also imported from elsewhere. Even the bigger companies such as Apple, they come from other places. Many car manufacturers are also foreigner, run in different countries and so on. So I would like to see these haters becoming self-sustainable. And there is no point that you can educate them better than isolating them. At least you know where the haters are, where the ones who promote wars, where the ones who promote violence are. So if anything happens in the future, if any terrorist wants to go and kill the ones who are against or killing their children abroad with all their stupid missions and wars, at least they will know where to locate them in our cities. And we don't gonna have to all be scared. If you are a pacifist person, if you are a open-minded person, if you are against war, and if you got, of course you have nothing to fear, because you have done nothing wrong, and your taxes, once the cities or the countries become separate, your taxes can be again not be taken as taxes, but what is my idea of a new country? It is a self-sustainable country, a country where the taxes are not going to be called taxes, are going to be called contributions. And the contributions as such, they are going to be seen as a loan from a citizen to their government. This loan is going to have to be paid back from the government to the citizen when the government reaches a point of need or less need for such a contributions. We need to create self-sustainable governments in order to create more citizen-owned companies, so that we can regulate the prices, and the government will have the possibility only then to intervene against the private industry or the macro corporations that are charging us as much as they want. Now there are a lot of reforms to be done about that. For example, I don't agree that a weapon manufacturing company it's at the same level as an electricity provider company. We can live without weapons, we cannot live without electricity. We cannot permit that companies that provide water, for example, are at the same level with the same rights to make so much profit as companies that provide cable channels. We can live without cable channels, we cannot live without water. So we have to make a distinction in our governments in order to sign what is the clear line between a company that provides vital services and a company that provides leisure services, unnecessary services. This company that provides accessory services, they can make as many profits as they want. They can overcharge as much as they want. That's not our problem. Our problem is when we allow a water company or electricity or a gas company to profit as much as they want. You know what profit means? Profit means that a company have charged you and I, the consumers, the final users of these services or goods, more than what the company needs to cover the production and the operations of the company. All of that excess, after the bonuses given to the employees, after the mega pay rises that they gave to the CEOs and all the board of directors, after all of that abuse and misuse of money, all the profits that are declared by companies, that is the overprice that we were charged. And I agree with, okay, making more money, making some gains of a company. After all, a company exists to make money. But we cannot allow government to permit companies to overcharge based on the need and the necessity of the people. There are companies that provide or whose products are vital needs. Now, this is our right. We have a right to live. We cannot be blackmailed by a company and just allowing them to increase their services as much as they want. These two companies, or these two level of companies, they should have a specific threshold of profits that they can make. Say a company that provides basic services can make maximum of, I don't know, one number that is reasonable enough for them to continue some research and so on, but not as much. And all whatever is after this threshold, say $100 million profit per year, and over any company going that provides these basic services to more of I don't know, 10 million people, if they go to over $100 million, then or $50 million, or I don't know how much is for, but just a threshold that we have to agree, then the rest of the money have to go back to the users, because the users are the one who pay an overprice on these services. So, and then, yeah, of course, making a company in such a that cannot profit as much as they want will be on the hands of people who lately are or finally are interested just in providing these services, and little by little these kind of services will be back to the public administration and not carry on being privatized as they are nowadays. So there are a lot of reforms like this that they have to be done and to be put in place. And of course they are not going to exist if there is not an impartial player on this game, and the impartial player basically will be the agent regulator of this industry or the economy, the global economy, will be the government that will be promoting, will be becoming a partner of new startups, of new companies, of new creativity. So if the company invests, like in England, what they do, the government gives you a loan if you want to study in a university. So you get your loan from the government, and you are going to repay that loan if in your professional life you earn over, say, 20,000 pounds per year. Then only then you start paying a specific amount every month towards the pay of your education. So just imagine if it happens the same way. The government becoming a partner in startups, giving us some money to start up new business. In this way, the government will become a partner in some sort of way of the new business, giving us the money, and after we start making this specific threshold, then the government will be able to start taking the money back, or just become a partner on, say, the 40% of the new startup. In this way, the new companies are going to start generating wealth that will be feeding back to the government, and the government will have the possibility to intervene in the regulation of prices and so on, because the government will be an active agent in the economy market. As well as we all have to pay for living, for example, yeah? So what is crazy is that when there is a building in the city, and I have seen this in Peru, I have seen this in England, I have seen this in Germany, when there is a building that is abandoned, this building, you know, or this place, it doesn't belong to the government itself. I mean, the government is a creation of their citizens. And nonetheless, the government sells something that it was from the government, say an old building, to a private company, and our taxes are not being reduced. You know, we have to carry on paying the same money, even though the government is selling on our behalf something that was acquired with our sweat and tears. Now, then this building is given to a private, what does it say, the name of it? Well, a company that renovates it, yeah? Developers they are called, I think. And then this developer knocks this old building down, makes these fancy offices or flats, and they sell it at incredible prices, or rent it at making extraordinary profits. Why cannot the government invest our taxes building all of those fancy buildings and renting it to normal citizens at a more reasonable price? Wouldn't it be better not to lose the asset of the country? Wouldn't it be better to have our government owning our infrastructure and letting it to the final users, startups or other businesses who need these offices spaces, or who need to, anyway, we pay for rent every month. We all need where to live. Why cannot the government use this money to feed back to the government all these companies that are refurbishing, that are redeveloping structures in the cities? They are making incredible amount of profit. Enough profits to pay the government, the building plans, enough profits to pay all the architects, enough profits to pay the builders, and enough profits to carry on with this business of renovating all over the country. Why cannot our government take an active participation in this, invest our money instead of using it only, so that they can stop in some point asking for some taxes, and the better scenario will be starting paying the taxes that we have already paid. None of us will send our children forever to school. After a certain amount of years, we are going to be, well, yeah, you know what, you are already 25. Have you finished your primary school already? Have you finished your secondary school? No one of us, even to our children, will fund the entire life for our lifetimes. Why the hell do we have to do that for the government? Why do we have to fund the government that only throws money away for our entire lives? I saw my mother, my father is now dead. He was a brilliant professional, working so hard, and we went through so many troubles in our life due to terrorism in Peru in the years of the 85 to the 95. We went to hyperinflation, we went to so many crises and so on and so forth. The system failed him, and he was always hopeful and a good citizen, always expecting for, you know, the years and everything will be better, and they never came. Hello. Now, his mediocrity, his lack of vision, his lack of strength to stand up and do something, it is what put us, our generation, my generation, in this situation where we are right now, where we have trying to take over cities, when we have haters trying to kick over immigrants and so on and so forth. Now, don't do that to your children, for God's sake. Don't inherit a world that is falling apart just down to your mediocrity, down to the lack of vision, or your lack of wanting to do something. Now, we can do a lot of things, but of course we need to found a plan, or we have to follow a plan that will restructure our societies in a way that they will be back to ours. And I think, well, the plan I have already described to you, it is completely doable, it is possible. But imagine if Anonymous stop being anonymous, or helps me to promote myself, to reach some more media, to talk to more people, to get more interviews. Who wouldn't like to stop paying taxes? Just imagine your life, how better your life will be if you don't have to pay taxes. You will be straight away at least 40% better than what you are right now. 40% better. That means that you could choose between working only 3 days a week and having the same amount of money and the same quality of life, or carry on working the same days a week but be 40% better off. What would you do with 40% more money? And this is doable if we stop the problem here. And the problem is the government that is taking your money and taking your money and taking your money and never paying it back, and always asking for more. Not only 20% of your salary to begin with, not only plus 20% from every dollar, pound or euro you spend, but also you have to pay road tax, you have to pay council tax, you have to pay the police, you have to pay for the cleanup of your city to be done. On top of that, if you need a certificate, you want to get married, you want anything from the government, you have to pay even more. So not even the organizations or the offices that are funded by your taxes are giving you any free services. And you know how why we always need the same money, or even more? Because the government works with budgets. And I couldn't believe this when I was in England, because in Peru and in Venezuela and South America, I've seen this crap of people playing up the system, but I couldn't believe my eyes when I was in Germany and in England. You know, the companies, they do exactly the same. The companies who work in the road, yeah, how it works. The government gives a specific amount of money, a budget for road works per year. A specific amount for education, a specific amount for gardens, and a specific amount for different things. And when the budget, say 10 million euros for a specific area in the road, it is not used, then the government the next year takes or cuts the budget to, say, I don't know how much it was used, say 7 million euros. And the following way, if the following year, if they don't need that much, they will be having another cut of the budget for 5 million euros. But this is logical, because not every year we need a new motorway, not every year we need a new school, not every year we need a new hospital, and so on. What do they do in order to keep the budget? They destroy roads that are perfectly well in good conditions and good operations states, and they just break them and make them new, just to justify to keep those that budget. And who are the companies who keep this budget going? Of course, the companies they have to be in a legal competition. They have to be at least 3 companies that are applying or presenting projects to renovate or to fix a specific part of the road. But they are all the same companies, the same owner with 3 different companies. They are always winning the same licitations, and they are always building the same things just to keep up the budget. So there is a kind of a monopoly over there, which, you know, makes me really crazy, is the fact that a lot of companies from the government that they were previously run by the government, they have been privatized, such as the telephone company, for water company, a railway company, and so on. I cannot believe, because they privatized the company under the argument that these companies were producing more losses than earns. But if you really think about that, why don't we privatize the whole government? Why don't we privatize the police? They're giving more losses than earns. Why don't we privatize the legal system? They are giving much more losses than earns. Why don't we privatize the whole political system and the administration of justice, the administration of safety, and all of some? Why not? They're giving all more losses than earns. And if this is the argument to privatize the railway in England, for example, this is completely crazy. Now, just think about this. You have the original company that was created and run by the government. Then this company was sold, was being privatized. Now, the money that they got for this privatization, it was not given back to the citizens. No, this money was kept by the government, and the government kept asking you for the same amount of money, giving you less services. Now, this company has been privatized. Why do the government needs the same amount of taxes if now is running some of the institutions much more efficient? By the way, who's paying this overwhelm productivity and all the profits that this company is making? Us, of course. But the government is becoming right now this cowboy, right? The cowboy, the middleman, the one who charges you and pays somebody else for the services that they are not doing. And nonetheless, this company is charging you even more, but the government is still charging you the same. Why don't we make a union of citizens and we negotiate our deals? When I was working for Honda in the UK, we were, I don't know how many thousands employees, but our union was negotiating on our behalf better prices of clothes, of cars, better working hours, discounts in clothes shops, food shops, I don't know, glasses shops. They were discounts on, I cannot even remember, but from restaurants to coffee shops to even other, computer, telephone companies. They were saying, okay, we have so many thousand employees, and we would like to point our employees to come and become your customers, but you have to offer me a percentage of discount for anything that you are offering. And we were getting amazing amounts of discounts. Why can we not do that on a level of a country? That's what I'm trying to do with these immigrants living in Germany right now with my organization, the nationsleague.org. Visit it, please. This is exactly what I'm doing right now. I am approaching normal businesses and saying, look, I represent so many legal immigrants. We are over 8,000 in 8 million, in Germany, legal immigrants. Many of us, we don't have the right to vote. So, to begin with, if we can do this as a small level with few thousand people, imagine what we could do with millions of people. Imagine if the government was an active part helping citizens to get better deals with private companies. We could do anything. We will be laughing off, if the government becomes privatized, or if the government just start paying our taxes back. We will be not only 40% or more better off, we will be even 100% better off. Doing exactly what you're doing, the same job, you're going to have 40% more money. Or at least you're going to have to work only part-time, 3 days a week. I can do this for you, anonymous. I can do this for any citizens in any country in the world. but I need some support, guys. I am not going to be able to do it alone. If you really want to do something to help, if you really want to change everything that exists, get in touch. Visit my website, send me a link. I'm not doing it anonymously. I'm doing it in the open because we have to face the problem and we have to look at the system eye to eye and face to face and change it for better. If the governments become aware of the amount of citizens or people legally or illegally living in a determined area, and these people are organized under one legal organization who brings them support and backs them up, then for sure we can at least claim a part of that country full of immigrants. Say a part of this country can be taken. 8 million people, over 8 million people, legal immigrants at least registered in Germany. That means the 10% of the German population. We could be take legally 10% of this country if the government doesn't really allow us to become a recognized force within the political movement in the country. Now, America have more legal immigrants. The minority became the majority. Why this majority is not kicking out the white people then? Why the haters have to be on top all the time? Because the minority, they don't get together, they don't organize themselves, and they don't become a private organization claiming the rights that belong to them, that are rightfully theirs. This could happen, but we don't need to act anonymously. We can act openly, we can act constitutionally, we can act democratically, because true democracy has enough weapons to defeat the system if we work cleverly enough. We can be talking later on of an open nation, an open continent without any borders. We can make immigration completely legal. We can set up the basis for a new, clever, qualified, better, more intelligent immigration by reinforcing the knowledge and the productivity, the peaceful in other nations. You stop immigration, because people are going to Europe or are going to America because things are working somehow better over there. But if you help other universities, not giving them money or weapons, but if you help them to develop their universities, if you help them to develop their own industry, then of course you're going to have less immigrants, but working cleverly. Now, it is possible to stop immigration as well, but giving something in return. You cannot just keep or try to keep the rest of the world being your product buyers, being your market, and don't expect those buyers in some point in their lives wanting to be on the other side. So if you create more equality, if you make education free and online, knowledge is at the end of the day a world patrimony. There shouldn't be any business made up of knowledge. Universities should be completely open, and there is online training, and as such there should be online education, and there are open and free open universities. We just need to make them free universities. Knowledge has to be spread all over the world. If we free education, we will stop immigration, because people will have the same opportunities to study, the same access to knowledge, the same access to wealth worldwide, and no one will be coming and jumping over here and there if we just free education. We could do that. We can make videos of in the universities. We need someone to you know, the local universities will invest less money instead of teaching if they are just centers to where students will go and make their exams. We can access to free language courses. Nobody, you know, should be making money out of languages. This is also communication. It's a human right. We cannot tackle the same problems if we don't speak the same languages. Just free in languages and free in education, you solve the problems of this mass immigration. And if you do have immigration, you will have immigration of capable professionals, educated at the same standards as your local people, that can join and be a productive part of the new society where they are choosing to live, instead of just coming and becoming a problem for the society. If you free education and you close your borders and you say, okay, we are going to accept only from now on people who emigrate to our countries, professionals at least finishing a career or a degree in 5 years in this free university that we are giving. Fantastic. Then you know what? Stop the borders. People will understand. They will become more proactive. They will study even more, and then you will have a completely different way of immigration. But if you just give them, you know, like a bit of bread and some clothes and put them with some basic payment, you generate resentment from the other citizens whose taxes you are paying to fund this misery, and these newcomers are just building some more resentment among the population that are not freely receiving them, and this is generating just a future of an internal revolution wherever you're trying to see. But the government doesn't realize how stupid they are, and you are part of this problem if you are not part of the solution. Come on, we can do this together. We can work this together. But we need a face. I will be your face if you need one. Have a good day.